MA LSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
Finally, show with the balls to call it like it is. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Countdown to audio torture.
The Rated R Safety Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Let the eardrum pain begin.
Forget the corporate bullshit. This is the Rated R Safety Show with your host, Dr. It doesn't matter who the host is.
Oh, yes, you know it, and truer words have never been said. It does not matter. No, truly, it does not matter who the host is. Today is Thursday, May the 26th of 2022, day 146 of the year, and only 219 days left to go. No, seriously, only 219 left to go, just for the sake of purpose of making reference to that. So that's how many days are left. Anyways, we are broadcasting live from the Safety FM studios in Orlando, Florida, and coming across the multiverse known as Safety FM. And we are also hanging and banging with our friends in that place that we do stuff at.
He's the man.
Oh, wrong.
You're being infiltrated. Radio Big.
You know, there's nothing better than when you start off by pressing the wrong button, but I think that, I have that tendency of doing that from a real perspective and a virtual perspective all the time. So there you go. We're also hanging out with our friends at RadioBig.fm. So coming across the multiverse of Safety FM as we get to do what we do here. Anyways, as we are talking, how was the last 23 hours for you? That was the last time that you and I hung out, depending unless you were in a private class. But yeah, that was the last time you and I did anything together. How you been? How are things going for you? Seriously, these are all important questions that we need to ask. Anyways, if you want to interact and do some stuff with the show, it's a kind of a simple process. All you have to do is go to callinradio.com. That's callinradio.com. That will get you moving and grooving inside of our virtual platform in regards to be able to communicate inside of the show itself. Also, because we have come to the conclusion of some of the limitations that we have, if you are not hanging out with us in one of the streamers, so of course the radio station is where we go first, that would be Safety FM, or you could do RadioBig.fm, but we're also giving you a platform now that if you go to safetyfm.com and click on Visual Radio, yes, Visual Radio, that will get you into our platformer that will actually let you see the stream that we do. And the call-in button is right there on the screen, so it makes it a little bit easier to be able to do some interaction. So just a little FYI information there for you. Anyways, let's start talking right away about the things that were trending. So we will go ahead and start moving with what is trending now. So let's do that. Anyways, Texas, Uvalde and Texas school massacre was trending on Wednesday as the country still tried to understand the senseless shooting that took place on Tuesday. Go guns over people and vote blue to save our kids were also trending in the wake of the tragic event. Haunted Mansion was trending after Twitter users Mickey_Central posted a photo containing the names of some of the well-known rides at Disney World. He then asked followers to pick the top 3. The Haunted Mansion attraction seemed to be the favorite among its followers. Also, George Floyd trended in Twitter's top 10 yesterday on the 2-year anniversary of his death. So just some information that it was going on right there. So a lot of stuff happening. So listen, I'm going to tell you, we're going to probably be a little bit all over the place today. I have been looking around and taking a look at a lot of the stuff that was going on yesterday. So I want you to be aware that not that we ever have anything that kind of is sequential and makes a lot of sense anyways, but we're going to be definitely all over the place today. And I just want to give you enough warning about that because I'm going to give you a little bit of stuff up here. I'm going to give you a little bit of stuff up there. I also have an audio clip that I'm going to play for you. So I want to give you and let you know that that's kind of long. It's a longer audio clip than of the stuff than we normally do. But I want to make sure that we have enough time to cover a lot of data today, and this is just information for you to be able to share. So just information purposes. Anyways, we're going to start off with some professional broadcasters, have them come in, let them tell you what exactly is going on inside of the world of the news. This will be the opportunity of taking a listen to what is going on. Also, at any point, you can go to callinradio.com, interact with the show. That's the video messaging, audio messaging, put you also inside of here live if we do tend to answer the phone. And, text messaging. It's all important stuff as we do so. Keep in mind that we do this show based around on what you want to see and what you want to do. So sometimes it goes into places that people are like, what the hell's going on? There's a reason for that. There's a reason to all the madness of what we do here. So let's get this moving right now.
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
NBC News Radio, I'm Michael Kastner. Authorities say the teenager who killed 19 children and 2 adults was inside a Texas elementary school for as long as an hour before law enforcement officers went into the building. Texas Department of Public Safety Director Stephen McCraw said on Wednesday that once the gunman got into the school in the small town of Uvalde, Texas, he went into the classroom, locked the door, and started shooting. The father of a 4th grade girl who was killed said he raced to the school when he heard about the shooting and saw police massed outside. He said more could have been done and that officers were unprepared. The families of the children and 2 teachers are collecting the victims' bodies as they prepare to bury the dead. The Uvalde County Justice of the Peace is handling the inquest following Tuesday's massacre at Robb Elementary School and said the victims' bodies should be released to their families by the end of the day or sooner. Morgan Chesky remembers some of the little souls lost.
Jackie Cazares, Alicia Ramirez, Rogelio Torres, and Eli Garcia. Many showing up to school Tuesday, dressed to impress, as part of a school-wide Footloose and Fancy Day.
Last night, the grieving citizens of Uvalde attended a candlelight vigil at the county rodeo in honor of the victims. The governor of Texas is being asked not to attend tomorrow's National Rifle Association's meeting. The NAACP told Greg Abbott his presence would send a message that guns are more important than the lives they take. The organization is gathering in Houston. A novelist who once wrote an essay called How to Murder Your Husband is found guilty of murdering her husband.
Count 1, murder in the 2nd degree, guilty.
Romance novelist Nancy Crampton Brophy was found guilty Wednesday morning of shooting her husband Dan Brophy in 2018. During the 7-week trial in Portland, Oregon, prosecutors argued she killed Brophy in order to cash in on a life insurance policy. They successfully claimed the 71-year-old novelist shot him twice using a ghost gun kit she bought online. Michael Kastner, NBC News Radio.
Listen at your own risk. Rated R Safety Show.
From Feature Story News in London, I'm Ollie Barrett. President Biden's expected to visit Texas later after the mass shooting at a primary school. Ukraine says Russian forces have attacked more than 40 towns in the eastern Donetsk and Lugansk region. The UK government's setting out a £10 billion package to help households with the cost of living crisis, and India is recommending isolating suspected monkeypox patients as cases rise around the world.
Listen to our host
Of the Rated R Safety Show.
self-implode on our airwaves, only on Safety FM.
Members of the Texas State Bar are filing a professional misconduct lawsuit against Attorney General Ken Paxton for his efforts to overturn the 2020 presidential election. More from Trey Thomas.
Wednesday's filing from the Texas Commission for Lawyer Discipline stems from complaints against Paxton for a lawsuit that attempted to overturn election results in 4 states won by Joe Biden. Paxton's lawsuit was thrown out by the U.S. Supreme Court. The State Bar lawsuit says Paxton's allegations were not supported by any charge, indictment, judicial finding, or credible evidence, and is asking for a finding of professional misconduct. I'm Trey Thomas.
Interest rates look like they're going to keep rising. More from Lisa Taylor.
That's the outlook from the Federal Reserve as it released the minutes from this month's meeting. It said an increase of 50 basis points would likely be appropriate at the next couple of meetings. The target range for the federal funds rate was raised by that much a few weeks ago. The rate is now 0.75 to 1%. I'm Lisa Taylor.
Folks are starting the weekend holiday getaway to kick off the unofficial start to summer. The latest from Scott Pringle.
AAA predicts more than 39 million Americans will travel more than 50 miles from home. That's about 3 million more than last year's Memorial Day weekend. Many of those will be on the road dealing with all-time high gas prices. And AAA's Robert Sinclair reminding folks to check things over on the vehicle.
Because we are anticipating more than 388,000 breakdowns. And that's only among AAA members. Big reasons are flat tires, dead batteries, and people locking themselves out of their vehicles.
Orlando, Seattle, and Miami round out the top 3 U.S. destinations. New York comes in 6th.
Ellen DeGeneres is winding up her talk show today after 19 seasons. The show will end the way it started with an interview of Jennifer Aniston. The final installment will also include appearances by Pink and Billie Eilish. Michael Kastner, NBC News Radio.
This show is almost as enjoyable as hearing the sound of the toilet flush. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
So, do you feel like you're missing out on what everyone is starting to do now? That live streaming thing, and you don't know where to start or what to do? I have the resource and the information to provide to you in regards on how you can stream onto 40 social media platforms all at one time. Yes, that's 40 social media platforms all at one time. All you'll need to do is go to safetyfm.com/1. That's safetyfm.com/1. That's ONE. So just in case, and you'll be able to start live streaming just like you're hearing people starting to do right now, up to 40 social media platforms. This portion of the show has been sponsored by Private Internet Access, America's #1 virtual private network, or VPN. Even if you use incognito mode, internet service providers is storing your browser data and many times even selling it. But Private Internet Access, or PIA, can help you. PIA encrypts and reroutes your internet traffic through one of its own servers, hiding your data from your internet service provider or network admin. And with servers in over 75 countries, you can get unrestricted access to geo-blocked content from around the world. PIA comes with easy-to-use apps and browsers extension for all devices, a rock-solid privacy policy, open source security, advanced customization settings, and it was just ranked the fastest VPN in the world by PC Magazine. And if you sign up right now with PIA, you can take advantage of a special deal only for Safety FM listeners. Only by using the following link, you can get the digital privacy for less than $2 a month. Yes, you did hear me correctly, less than $2 a month, and an extra 4 months for free. So that means for only $1.98 a month and 83% off, you can get this service for you right now. That's so much more inexpensive than virtually every other VPN on the market. And if you get it right now, you can take PIA's 30-day risk-free challenge. You can try it out for 30 days, see if you like it, and if not, just return it for a full refund. So just go to safetyfm.com/VPN. That's safetyfm.com/VPN to try out the best VPN on the planet completely risk-free. Now remember, safetyfm.com/VPN.
Is your safety training old, stale, and hacked? Is your safety trainer still preaching a warped version of behavior-based safety? How about safety training that actually addresses your hazards in your workplaces and is not standardized baloney from 25 years ago? Contact the Safety Wars team at safetywars.com or call Jim Posel at 845-269-5772. Remember, if you're receiving this message, you are the solution to unsafe workplaces.
Hey, are you tired of hanging around and talking about safety in a boring kind of format? Well, I got something for you. If you haven't hung out with us yet at safetyfm.com, I'm going to encourage you to do so. Yeah, if you come out to Safety FM, you can come hang out with all kinds of safety professionals. Some are safety professionals, some are just people that are talking about safety. But we want to do it in a format that makes it fun and entertaining. If you're kind of trying to figure out what the FM portion is, well, we're a radio station and also a podcast network. You can come out, hang out, listen to my show, The Jay Allen Show. You can listen to Todd Conklin with the pre-accident investigation, Blaine J. Hoffman with the Safety Pro, the Hop Nerd, Sam Goodman, just to name a few on what can be found on the station. Different things for different people, trying to bring safety in an entertaining form. SafetyFM.com. Go to the website, download the app, and carry it with you all day long. SafetyFM.com. We'll be waiting for you.
You are listening to something magical. You're listening to the Rated R Safety Show.
Oh, yes, something magical indeed. I'm just not sure what it is. Must be the sound effects. Anyway, so let's continue talking about the things that are going on inside of the world of the multiverse. Yes, because that's what it is. So let's talk about it. Going into the hit list this morning and talking and moving and grooving and doing all that fun stuff. Elon Musk remains serious about buying Twitter despite the ongoing drama over bots and accusation that it's a stunt that he'll eventually pull out of. Maybe he will, but Reuters reports that Musk has secured a $6.25 billion in outside financing for acquisition for the social media platform. He faces heightened scrutiny in recent days as tech stock have tanked, including Tesla. Musk have been relying on his stake in Tesla to help finance the purchase. So hold on. If I need, what is it, 44? Like, isn't it $44 billion? And I've acquired $6.25 billion in financing. I mean, I don't know. Let me just do simple math. If I have $6.25, that's way off than $44 in total. I mean, I'm just throwing that out there as an idea. So maybe some mathematical solutions still need to be done when it's all said and done there before you're able to move forward, because you're still way off. Way off. Anyway, let's continue talking about some other things that are going on inside of here. An Amazon van driver in Oklahoma City bailed out of his own vehicle on Monday after an unidentified man lobbed a grenade inside of the cab. The van crashed into a mailbox after the driver bailed before hitting the parked car. A bomb squad eventually removed the grenade as authorities arrived to the scene. No word yet on what led to the case. Can you imagine that for a moment? So all of a sudden you're taking a drivey-ivy down there. You're going down the roadway, and voila, somebody throws a grenade your general direction, and you realize what the hell the thing is as it gets into your car, and you bail. I mean, just think about that. You're driving with the windows down, and all of a sudden some shit like that's going down.
Oops! What did he just say?
We at Safety FM don't always agree with the viewpoints of our hosts and guests.
Now back to real safety talk on Safety FM.
Okay, two Pontus monkeys are loose outside of Savannah, Georgia. It wasn't a zoo jailbreak. Local police say that they legally own pets of an area resident. Georgia DNR is on the prowl to capture the animals and urge residents not engage with the monkeys if they come across them. Hold on. So don't engage with the monkeys that have come close to you. I mean, I have a hard time understanding that one. There's going to be some level of engagement, even if it's my ass running away from what the hell that's going on. I mean, just think about it in that fashion. Anyways, a study by Consumer Affairs shows that the majority of millennials love their pets more than they love their siblings at 57%. Have said that their pets, have said they like their pets more than their own mother. Oh, that's a story. Anyways, 25% of millennials said they'd sell their car if it meant being able to pay for their medical procedures that would save the pet's life. I mean, that's good. I mean, I guess that's really good when you start giving it some consideration of some things that are going on. So let's talk about this. Betty Sanderson was finally graduated from college. She's 84 and first enrolled in the University of Minnesota in 1955. to get her nursing license, which at the time only took a year, but didn't finish her degree. She got married, had 2 kids, and a full career as a nurse. In 2018, she began the process of completing her degree, which she got at the age of 84. It's amazing what you'll be willing to do. If you want something bad enough, you'll go out and finish what you started. And I always admire when people do those things. It's just amazing that, after such a long period of time, that this would be something that somebody would do. I like it. So let's take a gander at some things that are going on real quick inside of the market. So let's go ahead and bring in some Johnny Smalls. Let him tell us what is going on right there.
Here's your Market Beat Minute for Thursday, May 26th, 2022. Equities rebounded Wednesday despite signals the Fed will act more aggressively than the market is pricing in. The minutes indicate the FOMC is prepared to go beyond tightening to restrictive policy in order to tame inflation, but is worried about the risk to the system. The S&P 500 moved up to the highest level in over a week on the news and may move higher on Thursday. But the index is not out of the woods. The market is still trading well below key resistance target, and there is a very important data point due out Friday. The PCE price index is due out tomorrow and could shock the market. The market is expecting signs of cooling and peaking, but there is risk in that outlook. The bulk of CEOs report rising inflation in their earnings reports this cycle, and that does not suggest peaking or cooling for the consumer. A hot number will seal the deal on restrictive policy change and heighten the risk of a recession. You can get the inside track from Wall Street's brightest minds delivered directly to your inbox every day at marketbeatminute.com.
Okay, thank you, Johnny Smalls, for that one, letting us know what is going on inside of that neck of the woods. So let's talk about this real quick as we continue going into this information. Modest gains of the Dow on Wednesday, which picked up about 191 points. West Texas Intermediate and Brent crude hover around $110 a barrel as the national average price of gas continues to climb upwards heading into Memorial Day weekend. So a lot of stuff there going on. So let's see. Let's take a look real quick if we can take a gander at what's going on here. So gas prices hit $4.60 a gallon. Gas prices hit the newest highest milestone ever. Trey Thomas has more information.
According to AAA, the national average price for regular is now $4.60 a gallon, after sitting at $4.59 for most of the past week. The price has shot up almost $0.50 a gallon since last month. Regular averaged $4.13 a gallon 1 month ago. I'm Trey Thomas.
Okay, so there you go. Thank you, Trey, for letting us know that information. I'm sure not a lot of people are going to love that, but hey, it's something that we need to talk about in regards of what is going on for sure. So like I told you a little bit earlier, we're going to be a little bit all over the place today, but I don't think it's any different than any other day that we do this thing, but let's just make sure that we're clear here. Twitter shareholders okay with resolution on political spending concealment clauses. San Francisco, California Twitter shareholders have voted to require the social media company to report on its potential covering concealment clauses and election spending. Trey Thomas has more information.
The social media company will now have to issue a report on the risk of using concealment clauses, such as non-disclosure agreements or non-disparagement agreements, in the case of harassment, discrimination, and other unlawful acts. Twitter also will have to provide semi-annual updates on policies about using corporate funds in election campaigns. I'm Trey Thomas.
You know, I have to tell you this, and I'll just word this out there. I understand the non-disclosure agreement stuff, that I get. But when you have a non-disparagement clause, man, that is a sign of the times of what the hell's going on. So you are giving up, essentially, your right to say anything about what you want about the company, if it sucks or if it doesn't suck, to an extent. I mean, think about it. So now all of a sudden it's like, hey, you have to sign this non-disparagement clause to be able to do X, Y, or Z here. It should be the sign right away of be a little hesitant about some of the things that are there. I'll just put it to you that way. That would be one of the main things that I would talk about. Anyways, an arrest made in 2010 of a sexual assault. A Kalamazoo, Michigan man, an arrest has been made in January of 2010 of sexual assault in Kalamazoo. It was after authorities tested a rape kit for DNA and found a 32-year-old Cameron Alvarez who was arrested in South Florida on Monday.
Oftentimes in criminal investigations, time is not our friend. What we have found is in some of these cases, though, it has been, and we're able to move forward on cases.
Kalamazoo County Prosecutor Jeff Getting says the DNA does not deteriorate over the time, and that the Kalamazoo County Sexual Assault Kit Initiative has resulted in 2 convictions so far that was started back in 2017. Alvarez is still awaiting extradition. Kalamazoo County Prosecutor says that the DNA does not deteriorate over time. Take a listen to what he had to say about it.
The DNA is what the DNA is, and it doesn't lie. If the DNA matches the suspect, then something happened that caused that DNA to be there.
So there you go. A lot of stuff going on there. So interesting to see the approach that they're taking there. Anyway, students have been urged to walk out of today after the Texas shooting. Students across the nation are being called on to take action today after Texas school massacre. Tate Thomas has more information.
A youth activist group is trying to organize a walkout at noon Eastern Time. The goal is to pressure lawmakers to respond to what happened Tuesday in the small town of Uvalde, where a gunman killed 19 children and 2 teachers inside a classroom. The group wants stricter gun laws, saying students deserve to learn and live without fear. I'm Trey Thomas.
Okay, so let's continue talking right now about this subject matter, because I think it's going to be important for us to talk a little bit about everything here. So let's go with this. New Zealand's Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern is talking to the U.S. politicians, both Democrat and Republicans, following the deadly school massacre in Texas. Michael Kastner has more information.
On Wednesday, she discussed her experience after the New Zealand mosque shootings that killed dozens of people in 2019. The Prime Minister said New Zealand has very legitimate uses for guns within society, but noted that after the mass shooting, they were able to make gun reform changes with almost unanimous wide support. I'm Michael Kastner.
Okay, so there you go. You heard some stuff there that was coming from the information of the Prime Minister out of New Zealand. Let's talk a little bit more here. Texas shooters in school up to 1 hour before officers went in. So you've kind of heard some mixed reviews here. Let's talk about this. Authorities say the teenager who killed 19 children and 2 adults was inside the Texas elementary school for as long as an hour before law enforcement officers went into the building. Mark Mayfield has more information.
Texas Department of Public Safety Director Stephen McCraw said on Wednesday that once the gunman got into the school in the small town of Uvalde, Texas, he went into a classroom, locked the door, and started shooting. The father of a 4th grade girl who was killed said he raced to the school when he heard about the shooting and saw the police massed outside. He said more could have been done and that officers were unprepared. I'm Mark Mayfield.
You know, there's so many things that one can talk about there, that's for sure, in regards to that, because post-event, there's a lot of things to say. So before we start moving and grooving, I think it's time, because it's 29 minutes into the hour, let's do this real quick, and let's flip this over to our main story.
Here is our main story on the Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, so let's start talking right away about this. You know that there has been conversations over and over and over about gun control. There's been conversation over and over and over that references about the Second Amendment, and there's been conversations about things that need to be done for our children inside of schools. So I am assuming, because there has to be some assumptions that are going to be made here, that you might be familiar with a entertainment channel known as ESPN. ESPN, yes, the sports network. When you start taking a listen around to the things that are being discussed nowadays in regards of the world of sports, and all of a sudden things have now flipped over on the sports channel. Yes, the sports channel, you know, the channels that talk about something that's not related to what's going on inside of the world of the news. And this is being discussed. You know that we're hitting now on several different cylinders. And people can say one thing or another about, well, this is, you know, leftist, this is people from the right. Let's take this equation out of there. But yesterday, Chris Mad Dog Russo went on his point of view of what he thought about everything that was going on. Now, let me tell you what I'm going to do here in the next few moments. I want you to take a listen to what he had to say. But with that being said, you're going to be able to hear it. And if you're on the radio, that's the duh moment of what we're talking about. But even if you're on the video streamer, I am not able to show you this because, of course, of copyright stuff. If we were on our own little platform, we could do that. But because we're in the mixed socials at the moment, I can't just show it to you. But what I am going to do over the next few moments is I am going to play this clip for you because I want you to take a listen to what he had to say. And we will go from there and move forward. So don't go too far away as we will get this all started right now.
Here's a song.
Hold on. I thought we were going to get this all started right now. But of course, as everything, we have to do some other things before we get moving and grooving. So now let's go ahead and start that.
Somebody's face and talk about them like trash the minute the cameras start rolling. How are you able to then go behind the scenes and get something done when your priority is saving face and looking good so you can maintain your seat in that elected office instead of actually going there to get things done? That is what politics in the nation's capital has regressed to. And so I close by saying, that's where the problem really, really lies. They're not they're not the ones who actually shot and killed people. We understand that. But we also know there are laws in this land that could be implemented. There are laws on this land, that could be enforced, that should be followed, that we have not put forth our level of due diligence necessary to make sure that we're living in a safe and civilized society. Mayhem continues to be put on display. And the leaders that we rely upon to do something about us have sold us out just so they can maintain office. So if I'm Steve Kerr or anyone else, what I say is don't name just one name and don't name just one side. It's every single one of them. They have sold out America because they don't get things done. It's that simple.
Well, let me say a couple things here right out of the gate. Number one, something is wrong with the United States of America when an 18-year-old kid on his birthday goes out there and buys 2 assault weapons, rifles. In May, this kid, 18 years old, can't have a drink in Texas. Would you allow your kid, if he came home at 18, hey, Mom, look what I got for my birthday, I bought 2 assault rifles. You go crazy. He didn't have that parental supervision. Nobody checked. Nobody did anything. So Kerr's 1,000% right. Secondly, all the folks who make a big deal, this is about mental illness. Well, how come this doesn't happen in Britain? I was in Ireland. There's no mental illness in Ireland? France, Spain, Germany, Italy. You don't see this happening in those countries because the gun availability is not there. You are not a 15-year-old kid at a boarding school in Britain who can walk into a gun shop and buy 330 magazines and 5 assault weapons. You can in the United States. And although Biden, the president, he says all he wants, do something. Obama did after Sandy Hook. He did everything he could. Nobody followed suit. And although I try to play it right down the middle, I vote both Republican and Democrat. I vote for the best man all the time. In the history of since 1980, vote for the best man. Bottom line is, in this particular situation, Kerr's right. It's about the Republicans in that Senate who are wrapped up with the NRA and all the gun lobbyists and everything else who are afraid. There's 310 million guns in America for 300 million people. who are afraid that if they get tough here, that somehow they're going to get knocked out of office because their states love guns. Love guns. Do you think everybody brings up the Second Amendment. What do you think George Washington, Sam Adams, Jefferson, Ben Franklin, what do you think they're thinking about right now? You think they thought this? There was no police. There was no state militia back in 1780 when they did the state Second Amendment. It's not the same thing. This is totally different today. I mean, it's ridiculous. You're going to bring up the Second Amendment, well, I have my right to have guns, and you're going to bring up something that was passed in 1780 and say that applies to today? That is absolutely absurd. And the other thing, Abbott, the governor, and again, I played right down the middle. Cruz, that senator. And how about the representative of that community there in West San Antonio and West Texas? They all voted no on gun control deals in March. They voted no on it. And then Adam yesterday gives me this big deal about how we're heartbroken. Well, you had a chance to do something about it. You did nothing. And where are they going on Friday, half of them? To an NAR convention in Houston, Texas, for crying out loud. Houston, Texas. It's absolutely absurd. America, shape up, wake up, and do something. I don't care what it is. And yes, there are a million reasons why we have all these 18-year-old kids who feel disconnected and feel like they got to go out there and blow up a supermarket, a school, a movie theater in Colorado with armor on. They're disconnected. But I can't look at every computer. I can't look at every social media post. I can't look at every Instagram thing to see what these kids are thinking about. But what I can do, I can limit their ability to obtain weapons. That I can do. And I understand the gun companies in this country don't want that because they make a ton of money when they sell these assault weapons. So that company that stored Dick's Sporting Goods, wherever it was, in Texas, when they sold those 2 assault weapons to this kid a couple of weeks ago, you think they care? No, they don't. They don't care. They say they care, but they don't because they do nothing about it. And listen, I live 20 minutes from Sandy Hook. I was there 5 days later. That is an absolute disgrace that in 9 years we have done nothing. Kurt's right. I got issues with Kurt with other issues. His China thing and everything, I could go on and on. But here he's 100% right. This does not happen in Europe, Japan, China. It does not have Israel. Name the country. It happens here. The United States of America. Because you politicians, in this case, most of them Republicans, and the president, go out there and do something. Let's go. It can't be that hard. You know, the other thing that I want to say, last thing, Washington Post had a great point today. One last thing.
No, go ahead.
You know who's going to get this solved? You actually need a Republican president. Because we're so politicized in this country that the Republicans do not want to agree anything to what a Democratic president says. So if you have a Republican president who is going to get that vote on the right, he does something, you can start to make a little movement here. And we almost did with the last president after Parkland, but he got sidetracked. What else is new? And he didn't do it. He got sidetracked. But this is getting to be much. We're starting off a sports show on this great network, and we're talking about a kid who got slaughtered, 18 people, and we're going to move on our merry way now, and we're going to show up at that gun lobby thing in Houston on Friday. You should be all ashamed of yourselves. All ashamed. And I vote right down the middle. Don't call me some leftist nutcase. I go both ways. Sorry.
Don't be sorry. That was so.
Don't be sorry. Don't be sorry.
Well said. These children deserve their lives. They deserve to follow their dreams. And you're right. 212 shootings, 27 in schools. And again, these places should be sanctuaries. Everything you said was so spot on. And honestly, Stephen, and I know you guys are grown men. It's unnerving. You almost feel scared to go anywhere at this point. Basic places.
Yeah, you do. You do. Or I'll say this. You do, but you have to. You have to move.
So there you go. That is information that is being discussed on ESPN, the Sports Network. The Sports Network. Unfathomable in regards of what's going on. Seriously.
Oops! What did he just say?
We at Safety FM don't always agree with viewpoints of our hosts and guests.
Now back to real safety talk on Safety FM.
Don't go anywhere.
You're listening to the home of real safety talk.
You are listening to Safety FM. We'll be right back.
We all want to make sure that our family is protected in medical emergencies. What many of us don't realize is that health insurance won't always cover the full amount of an emergency medical flight. Even with comprehensive coverage, you could get hit with high deductibles and copays. That's why an Air Medcare Network membership is so important. As a member, if an emergency arises, you won't see a bill for air medical transport when flown by an AMCN provider. Best of all, a membership covers your entire household for as little as $85 a year. AMCN providers are called upon to transport nearly 100,000 patients a year. This is coverage no family should go without. Now, as a Jay Allen Show listener, you'll get up to a $50 e-gift card with a new membership. Simply visit airmedcarenetwork.com/safety and use the offer code SAFETY. And don't forget to tell them that Jay Allen sent you.
Do you have a claim and not sure where to turn? Coastal Claim Consultants are professionally licensed and bonded public insurance adjusters employed exclusively by you, the policyholder, to represent you after sustaining an insured loss. They assist policyholders in all aspects of processing the claim, working closely with the insured to provide the most equitable and timely settlement possible. They will provide you with comprehensive service, anything from inspecting the loss site, analyzing damages, compiling claim support data, reviewing applicable coverages, assessing replacement costs of damages, and negotiating your settlement. The adjusters at Coastal Claim Consultants will evaluate your claim for no upfront cost whatsoever. Coastal Claim Consultants' fee is based on contingency contracts and are paid when the insurance company sends you a check and it's in your possession. Coastal Claim Consultants are licensed to assist you in the following states: Florida, Texas, Oklahoma, Georgia, and South Carolina. For more information, go to coastal-cc.com. That's coastal-cc.com. For more information, lighting the way to recovery. Coastal Claim Consultants.
These days, it can be hard to find and hire the right candidates for your small business. That's why LinkedIn Jobs made it easier to find the people that you want to talk to faster and for free. I have to tell you, even before they ever became a sponsor here on Safety FM, we have used LinkedIn Jobs to help find the people that we have here on Safety FM. It's an easy service to use. Create a free job post in minutes on LinkedIn Jobs to reach your network and beyond to the world's largest professional network of over 770 million people. Focus on candidates with just the right skills and experience and use screening questions to get your role in front of only the most qualified candidates. Then use the simple tools on LinkedIn Jobs to quickly filter and prioritize who you'd like to interview and hire. It's why small businesses rate LinkedIn Jobs #1 in delivering quality hires versus leading competitors. LinkedIn Jobs helps you find the candidates you want to talk to faster. Did you know that every week nearly 40 million job seekers visit LinkedIn? Post your job for free at linkedin.com/safetyfm. That's linkedin.com/safetyfm to post your job for free. Terms and conditions do apply. And don't forget to mention that Jay Allen sent you. Have you ever wanted to start live streaming and were not sure how to do it? You can start live streaming up to 40 social media platforms all at one time for as little as nada. It's going to cost you your time. That is what it's going to cost. You can pre-record, you can live stream, you can do a multitude of things. To find out more information, all you have to do is go to safetyfm.com/one. That's safetyfm.com, ONE. Okay, 45 minutes into the hour. We are still hanging and banging here. This one right here is readily available on Spotify and iTunes. I'm Not Saying. This one is called I'm Not Saying by Soleil. So thank you for Soleil for allowing us to play this here on the Rated R Safety Show. So there you go, there you go, there you go. Anyways, I want to interact a little bit with the show. You're more than welcome on doing that by callinradio.com. Yes, that's callinradio.com. All you have to do is go to Call-In Radio. I appreciate the people that are sending in messages. It seems like some people liked some of the commentary that the Mad Dog Chris Russo had to say. There are some people that are not happy with what he had to say, and I get it. I look at it from this particular standpoint. We are always a mixed bunch. Yes, you, I, and everyone that kind of hangs out here. So we are going to look at things differently, and that's the great thing about this. We can look at things differently from the standpoint of, hey, I want you to have your opinion. I never want, for you not to feel like you are not welcomed based on an opinion. So that's why when it comes to certain things, we just don't talk about it. I mean, you know where I stand with this stuff because we talk about it. We talk about it here. And I'm always open to conversations. Always open to conversations to hear where you stand or anybody stands. Does not mean that at the end of the day, we are going to agree 100% across the board. And I think that you know that. And we've had these conversations for years at this point. So I appreciate the people going in through Call-In Radio and, leaving their thought process in that particular regards. So, I mean, I think at the end of the day, we all know that no one wants to see, number one, anyone dead. And we definitely don't want to see small children dying. So we'll leave it at that. We'll leave it at that for now. And I think that this is an ongoing conversation. And maybe it's one of those big things that we talk about that we can't just, put it on the back burner and go, okay, it's done. Let's move forward. So as we are talking on this day here on Thursday, May the 28th, let's talk a little bit about what's about to happen here. We spoke briefly yesterday about some things that were going on in the city council in Chicago. So let's talk about this. Chicago aldermen are signing off on mayor's Lightfoot plan to bring Bally's casino to the city. The mayor said the casino is very important to Chicago.
Besides creating a world-class entertainment venue for our world-class city, a casino signals to the world that our economy is on a strong path towards recovery, ready to develop new and lucrative projects.
The city council yesterday overwhelmingly approved the Bally's proposal. The vote comes less than 3 weeks after Mayor announced that Bally's is planning to build a $1.7 billion casino and hotel on land now occupied by the Chicago Tribune Freedom Center printing plant. The proposal now heads to the Illinois Gaming Board for final approval. So there you go. Some stuff that is going on right there. What else do we have going on real quick? Blood centers across Iowa are asking for more donors as blood is being sent to those in need. Paul Rubidoux has more.
LifeServe Blood Center is sending donor blood of different types to Texas after a fatal mass shooting in an elementary school. LifeServe is a member of the Blood Emergency Readiness Corps, known for sending blood donations cross-country after emergencies or disasters. Iowans are now being asked to donate to refill the local supply as blood is being shipped to those in need. I'm Paul Rubidoux.
Okay, thank you, Paul, for that, for letting us know what's going on there. Let's talk a little bit more about some other things that are going on inside of here. As we are moving and grooving and doing all the fun stuff that we get to do. Anyways, new technology that automatically slows your car down could someday make speed limit signs redundant. And automaker Ford says that it could also make the streets simpler, safer, and easier on the eye. And to help drivers avoid costly speeding fines, Geofencing technology creates a virtual area where vehicles slow down. The driver receives an information on the dashboard display with the new speed limit flashing below the current speed. The vehicle then automatically reduces speeds. However, the driver is able to override the system at any time. Ford is now conducting trials of geofencing technology, which is also could be used to set speed limits dynamically to take into account factors such as local hazards, temporary road works, and the time of day. If you support this idea, it's basically the way of telling me that have teen drivers without telling me that you have teen drivers. We already have tech that automatically slows down my car. It's called soaring gas prices. And why not? In 5 years, it's not like it will occur that cars won't be driving themselves anyway. So why not have this already established? So what do you think about the tech? You know, automatically you think sci-fi film, you think like Minority Report, you think movies along those lines. Remember how those self-driving Teslas were coming off the side of the roadways and things along those lines. But I mean, what difference is this with full driving technology that Tesla has been working on? You know, so I mean, that will be one of those things that people will start giving consideration to, because all of a sudden, if it's giving you the information, you can override it, and the car's already driving. I mean, are you really going to have that big of a change, big of a thing that you're going to be worried about when it comes to that stuff? I mean, I don't know. Just some things to think about. Anyways, 52 minutes past the top of the hour. I think it is time to bring in some John Smalls and let him tell us what is going on in the Motivation Minute.
The Motivation Minute is courtesy of InsuranceChicken.com. Today's quote was submitted by Lance. George Bernard Shaw said, "Happy is the man who can make a living by his hobby." I love that. When I was 19 years old, I already worked in radio for a little while, and I was speaking to a person who I considered a mentor. She said to me something very, very similar to this quote. She said, "Make your hobby your career, and you'll never work a day in your life." I remember thinking about that for a bit. Then, taking the advice to heart, I followed my passion and had the chance to work now in the radio industry full-time for almost 30 years. There were many early mornings and many late nights, but it never really felt too much like work. This has been today's Motivation Minute, courtesy of InsuranceChicken.com. They're known for insurance quotes. I'm John Small. Thanks for listening. Your favorite motivational quotes can be submitted for upcoming programs at motivationminute.org.
Your Wellness Minute is brought to you by AlasaMorgan.com. There is more evidence that suggests that aerobic exercise improves brain aging. People with higher cardiorespiratory fitness and marker of physical fitness have a higher total brain volume, gray matter volume, and higher clusters of gray matter associated with cognition. Physical activity and fitness are associated with improved brain blood vessel function. Neurotrophins, such as brain-derived neurotrophic factor, BDNF, are elevated after increased physical activity. BDNF may also play a major role in neuroplastic effects, neuromodulation, and recovery, which might lead to improved brain health and slower cognitive decline. In addition to routine physical activity, about 150 minutes per week, good cardiorespiratory fitness also involves not smoking, following healthy eating habits, maintaining a healthy weight, as well as avoiding high blood pressure. For additional information on wellness, check out alasamorgan.com.
Safety never sounded so terrible. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, there you go. 54 minutes past the top of the hour as you and I are hanging out on this Thursday. What is this? What is this information? Following the horrific school shooting in Texas Tuesday, everyone could take a page out of Mr. Rogers' book, Look for Helpers. Let me take a listen here.
You know, my mother used to say a long time ago, whenever there would be any really catastrophe that was in the movies or on the air, she would say, always look for the helpers. There will always be helpers, you know, even just on the sidelines. That's why I think that if news programs could make a conscious effort of showing rescue teams, of showing medical people, anybody who is coming into a place where there's a tragedy, to be to be sure that they include that. Because if you look for the helpers, you'll know that there's hope.
Words of wisdom by Mr. Rogers, like always. Anyways, let's continue talking a little bit more of some things that are going on. No winner for Tuesday night's Powerball drawing. Friday night's drawing will be for a $157 million jackpot or a $92.5 million cash payout, just in case if you're wondering. What else? Before we get too far away, back on this day, let's see. In 2020, Twitter adds labels to warn about inaccuracies in President Donald Trump's tweet for the first time. The labels contains links to CNN, Washington Post, and The Hill to explain Trump's alleged lies. Trump fired back to Twitter as stifling free speech. That happened back on this date in 2020. So before I forget, and I don't want to forget because it's always important, let me tell you about my friends at the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. Whether you have struggled with suicide yourself or have lost a loved one, make sure to contact the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. We want you to know that you are not alone. All you have to do is call 1-800-273-8255. That's 1-800-273-8255. Or text the word TALK to 741-741. Always important information to remember and to talk about. It's not one of these things where we just talk about it once and go, okay, good, time to move on. Not the thing. Let's talk real quick about some birthdays that are going on real quick. Lauryn Hill turns 47. Matt Stone, co-creator of South Park, turns 51 today. Lenny Kravitz turns 58. Hank William Jr. turns 73. And Stevie Nicks turns 74 today. So there you go. Those are some birthdays that are going on. Just in case if you're looking at some of those, if you're looking at some days of the year to celebrate, I got some of those for you. National Blueberry Cheesecake Day, World Lindley of Hope Day, Dracula Day, and Earring Lovers Day. Earring Lovers Day. I didn't even know there was such a day, but I guess now we have found this out together. So there you go. Now you know, I know, and we both know, and the world has become a better place. Anyways, if you need a random joke for today, here you go. My boss is going to fire the employee with the worst posture. I have a hunch, so it might be me. If you need a phone starter for today, try this one. What to you never stop being cool? Jeans and T-shirt, Johnny Cash, Ray-Bans, or the word cool. I mean, I don't know. If you need something to talk about at the water cooler, try this question. 37% admit that they have embarrassed themselves in a work meeting by doing this. What is it? Having hiccups. So there you go. That's some stuff to talk about. Anyways, it's the top of the hour. I'll be going over to Radio Big. So meaning in less than 2 minutes, I will be going over to Radio Big exclusively doing the stuff that I do over there, doing some music and all that kind of fun stuff. If you want to hang out just here, you're more than welcome on doing so by hanging out, doing your thing here on Safety FM. No problem whatsoever. Safety FM is a radio station. We talk about all things related to the world of safety. Anyways, we could not do what we do without you, the most important part of Safety FM and Radio Big, and that is the listener. If I can leave you with a thought for today, I would love to leave you with this one. Success is a science. If you have the condition, you'll get the results. Think about that. It'll take you to places you never thought you would go. Anyways, thank you for taking a listen. I know who you are.
Duh.
You know who I am. Love you, mean it, and goodbye.
The views and opinions expressed on this podcast are those of the host and its guest and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of the company. Examples of analysis discussed within this podcast are only examples. They should not be utilized in the real world as the only solution available, as they are based only on very limited and dated open source information. Assumptions made within this analysis are not reflective of the position of the company. No part of this podcast may be reproduced, stored in a retrieval system, or transmitted in any form or by any means, mechanical, electronic, recording, or otherwise, without prior written permission of the creator of the podcast, Jay Allen.